What's going on, guys? Austin back, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to quick peek inside of Rainbow Six Siege X. Now in this video I'm going to be showing you guys literally the different ways that you can take on this quick peek approach, and most importantly why you should be quick peeking, because it is one of the most useful and best mechanics that you can use in Siege to actually get better at the game. Like, being able to quick peek and play off of quick peeks is so important, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do that, and just it's going to help you improve your game skill by 1,000% after watching this video. I guarantee it. But before we get in the video, my socials are linked down in the description if you want to check me out on any place else, and also hit the like, subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get into the quick peeks. All right, so before we get into the spawn peeks, I first wanted to talk about why it is so important to quick peek, and also why it is so important to learn this mechanic in the game. And basically the main reason is because it provides you a way to clear angles and protect yourself at the same time, while not using a drone, not using a teammate's dead body info, not using calls, by just being able to do it yourself, right? And what I really mean by this is, I feel like it's better if I show you guys, is let's say you don't have a drone, right, and you are trying to push in this main entrance area, right, and you feel like someone is holding this room but you don't know, so you want to kill them, right? And you don't have a way to know where they are, right? This is a perfect scenario and a way of why you would quick peek, right? To get the info without exposing yourself, so then you can set yourself up for a good gunfight that isn't very one-sided, right? And a lot of people who don't know how to quick peek or won't utilize it will do this. They will dry swing, which I'll show you guys, right? Is he's like holding an angle here. They will just swing out, and that is not very good, because one, let's say they're holding this angle right here. They're on this right side of the flag door, right? The double door. And if you just go like this, and you're just kind of wildly don't know where to put your crosshair because you don't know where the person is, right? They're just gonna kill you, right? They're gonna have the advantage because obviously they're the one holding the angle, even though you are swinging, right? It's just going to be hard for you. You're going to have to hit a crazy shot and somehow kill him, right? Which a lot of the time is not going to work. Sometimes it will, but it's not very consistent, right? You want to protect yourself a little bit more. So why quick peeking is such a great thing is because if we don't have a drone, I don't know where he is, I want an even gunfight, right, and not get fried, what I can do is I can quick peek, where, the basis is you're peeking out quickly and you're coming back behind cover. Quick peek, you're quickly peeking, taking cover, which is a very good, you can see it's so good because, right, you're peeking for a second, protecting yourself, and then what you can do is you can peek another angle, protect yourself, he's not there, you peek sorry, you peek this angle, and right, you see him, and then you can come back out and kill him, right? So it's just a simple way of taking time, right? It takes more time, right, to clear the area, see where everybody is, but it is way better because it protects yourself, it gives you the info is king in Siege. So that is why you quick peek, and why it is such a good thing to quick peek in this game, right? Because it just protects yourself, you get the info, you can take fair gunfights, and it'll help you so much in the long run. So that is why you quick peek. Now I will get into actually the different ways that you can quick peek. So yeah, let's go. All right, so now getting into the first way you can quick peek, and I would say this is probably one of the easiest ways, is just to do it the most simple way that you can, and just come out and come back in. And how this looks in game is pretty much all you do is, right, you're going to aim, you're going to ADS in, you're going to come out, and you're going to come back in. Which obviously I did it really slow because I want to talk about it, but it basically just looked like this, where you're just coming out, you see him, ooh, you know what I mean? You're kind of quickly clearing angles. Sorry, I have it on training mode, but it's pretty much you just go out, come back in, and it's just literally left to right on the controller. It's WASD, it's AD, you know what I mean, on PC. It's just simple, right? It's just in and out. It's no complex, like different key touching, different button touching. It's literally just in, out, quick. And you can, do a lot of certain and different things off of it, where one, you can either go out and in, and then you go out in, and then you can come out and you can shoot, or you can go out in, crouch, and come back and shoot like that. It's very, very, you know, not complicated. You know what I mean? There's obviously better ways to quick peek than this, but for someone who, you know, just wants a quick peek, you know, I still use this sometimes where I'm just like kind of like this and I'm just like kind of doing stuff. Obviously, I do this peek too. This is called the Strico peek, which I'll talk about later, but this one is not bad at all. Obviously, it's going to be way better than just swinging out, so and dry peeking, which, you know, is the aim of quick peeking. So if you, you know, aren't very, you know, you're kind of more of a beginner, this would be a very good one for you. You can do still a lot of things off of the quick peek, but make sure you guys are using that one because that one is a great one for, especially like I said, beginners. And the next quick peek that we're going to be talking about is going to be the knife peek. Now, I would consider this a quick peek. The thing with this one is you're not putting your head inside of the doorway initially and, you know, the peak initially, so it actually is a little bit more safer, but this gives you a little less info, right? So this quick peek, the knife peek, would basically look like this. So you're gonna like go close to the door, you're gonna come on the side of a doorway or wherever you're peeking, right? And you're just gonna knife and then come back in, because what this does is if someone is holding an angle, a lot of the time, right, they're gonna be, you know, waiting for you to peek out, and then once they see you, they're gonna shoot. So a lot of the time when, if you go like this, you know, you're not exposing your head or anything, but they're gonna see your body and they're gonna hit you with a shot. Then that leads you to have to be able to kind of dictate where they are off of that shot, which a lot of the time can be hard, but I think it is way better than still just swinging out and dry peeking, right? Because if we, you know, come out like this, well, they're not going to shoot because they're bots. But if we hear this and they're like, okay, it's like pretty much straight, then we know it's like, okay, well, they're maybe on the kid's door, so you can swing out and pre-fire. You know what I mean? I didn't pre-fire there, but still. So the knife peek, I would say this one gives you a lot less info than, like, you know, maybe the first one that we did where you're kind of strafing across left and right. But it is a lot more safer. So I would only use this in certain scenarios. I wouldn't use this as like your default one, but like if you're really low on health, you know what I mean, you need to kind of just, it's a 1v1, 1v2, you need to just kind of find out where they are. You know, this is a very great one for you to do. All right, so next we're going to be talking about the Hasham peek for quick peek number 3. Now the Hasham peek is a quick peek named after a pro player named Hasham. I don't know what team he currently plays for, but I know that he was playing for Team Falcons when, you know, he did this, which is the team Strico plays for currently, the old BDS roster. But pretty much, I'll just show you guys what the Hasham peek is. Enough of my yapping here. But the Hasham peek is basically, you're gonna put your body out so you can see. So I would say this is definitely better than the knife peek, but I don't know if it's as good as the strafe peek or the next one that we're gonna talk about. Which the next one we're gonna talk about is gonna be the best quick peek that you can do. But yeah, so this is the Hasham peek. Pretty much all it is you're gonna come to the edge of a doorway, right, or wherever you're peeking. You're gonna swing out. You're gonna crouch. And you're going to come back in. And that's pretty much all it is, right? So you're going to go out, crouch, come back in. And this is what it kind of looks like sped up, where you're getting the info, right? But you're kind of peeking out. You're getting the info, you're peeking your head out, you're putting yourself in a little bit of danger, but not that much, right? Because the thing is like, even if they are aiming head level and they have good reaction time, you're crouching. You know what I mean? So it's like, a lot of the time they're not gonna be able to kill you on this door because you're moving, right? Versus maybe like a strafe peek where you're coming out like this and then they're like, oh, he's gonna come back out and they can fry you, right? Which doesn't happen a lot of the time, but you just got to be careful of. It's just gonna happen. Like with all the quick peeks, there are chances that you will die on the quick peek, okay? Other than the knife one, maybe, right? Because you're probably not gonna be able to die from this, you know what I mean? But for this, like, sometimes they'll just fry you, you know what I mean? And like, that happens to me. That has happened to me a good amount of times, right? And there's nothing more you can do, really. You know what I mean? But this, it's still safer than just being like, oh, and you're dead. You know what I mean? So, so that is the Hasham peek. I do like this one a lot. It's just the thing is it's like a little bit harder to swing off of, I would say, initially than like a strafe peek, because you do have to like aim in then and kind of readjust how you want to swing out, whether you want to swing like kind of close to the doorway, right? Like this, or you want to Hasham peek and then like swing a little bit further. So but I think that and the, you know, strafe peek are probably the two better ones. The knife one is good, but I feel like it's very situational. But let's get into the last one, which is the best type of quick peek in the game. And for the last quick peek that I'm going to be talking about and showing you guys how to do. This is going to be the hardest one. This is going to be the quick peek called the Shiko Peek. Yes, after Shiko himself, one of the greatest players to ever exist in Rainbow Six Siege. But this is pretty much, it's a lot like the first one that I showed you, kind of this more of a strafe peek. But it's just a little bit more elements to it. And the elements come in the form of how you put yourself back behind cover, which I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of annoying to explain. So I'm gonna explain it, but then I'm also gonna try to show it for you guys because it's very hard. You'll see for me in a minute. You'll see in a minute. So let's say we're swinging left, right? We want to quick peek this door, right? So what we would do is we would obviously swing out. You know what I mean? Where we're, you know, being able to see it, but not too wide, right? So we can quickly get behind the door. So you swing out, and then you're going to want to lean to the opposite way that you're swinging out. So we're swinging out left, so we're going to quick peek, or we're going to lean back right. If you were swinging out right, then you're going to lean back left. So this would look like us going back. Now, you want to, obviously, because if you were to lean back left, you would still be in front of the doorway. So when you lean to the opposite way, you then also have to move, you know, behind the door still. So while you reset your lean back to, you know, the opposite side, which this would obviously be the left side, you have to move behind the wall. So it looks kind of like this. You know what I mean? So it's like you swing out, do this, get behind the wall, which you want to get behind the wall and lean back to where you're originally leaning at the same time. So I hope that kind of made sense. But this is kind of how it looks like fast mode, where you're swinging out and you're swinging out, coming back, and you're able to then reposition yourself a lot easier, right? Because it's basically just the best quick peek because it's so fast, right? Because if you quick peek like this, you can just swing out so fast versus if you're doing like, you know, strafing back and forth, you know, there is a little bit, you know, of a delay, right? Where you're going like this and you have to come back out versus if you're doing the Shiko peek where it's like super quick and you can, you know, do this. Like I've gotten so many one taps, so many kills just off of like how fast the Shiko peek and how fast you're able to like react off of it, right? And you can do this while you're crouched too. Obviously I'm on controller, so I'm gonna try to one more time. I'm gonna try to explain it while showing you the controller. Now this is a little bit more challenging on PC, but basically you just need to know your buttons, right? Your lean buttons, your, you know, moving buttons. But basically all it is right. Let's do it the right way this time. Let's do it the right way. So let's say we're okay. Hold on. Holy moly, I've never played Siege like this, but pretty much if we're peeking the right way, what this is gonna entail is, right, we're gonna come out. Right, we're gonna swing out. Let's say we're trying to quick peek here. We're swinging out, getting our info, and then we're leaning to the opposite way. So obviously you would click, you know, this would be the left pad or the left joystick, and then you're gonna hit your right joystick to lean back to the original way that you were leaning when you swung out of the door. You're going to move your left joystick back behind the thing to move yourself out of harm's way, right? So it looks kind of okay. It's really hard to do it like this, but it's basically just like this. And it may look very challenging at first in how I'm showing you guys this, but if you really like it's literally you lean out, you lean back, and then you go like this. You lean the original way and you slide, you know, you move yourself back behind the door, which I'm just trying to like iterate it to you guys so you can kind of like picture it in your head of how it like looks and stuff like that. And you can watch this as many times as you need to. And I would advise it, bro, because I'm not gonna lie, everything that I just told you, other quick peeks are very good, right? The Hashan peek's very good for situational. The knife peek is very situational. But the strafe peek is just like it's like a beginner version of this, right? Ultimately, you want to be able to learn this. And if you like are a lower rank, or no matter what rank you are, if you don't know how to Shiko peek and you just learn it and you just grind it out and you become very good at Shiko peeking, trust me, you are going to be a 10 times better player, because especially at those low ranks, those intermediate ranks, right? Like, you being able to quick peek, get info, and then swing out depending on that info and get kills is just going to be too much for some people, right? And especially in the higher ranks, if you want to get to the higher ranks, you know what I mean? pretty much everyone quick peeks. So like it's just a very good skill to learn, right? And the sooner you learn it, the better it's going to be and the more time you're going to have with it. So that is how you Shiko peek. I hope to God that I was able to, you know, kind of help you guys out with that one. It's very complex. It's very hard to explain, but once you like, I feel like if you put this video on and you watch it and you're like, okay, this is maybe a little confusing, but then you hop into a game and you watch this over and kind of explain it and you are like doing, it's easier to do than to like hear, you know what I mean? Like do it, listen, do it, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. But yeah, so that's how you Shiko peek. And that are all the quick peeks that I'm going to talk about in this video. Alright, so that's going to be all for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy this one. I know I kind of yapped on the Shiko peek. It was a little bit longer than I wanted to do, but I just want to make sure that you guys actually can understand it, and like I explained it well enough for you guys to understand, which a lot of times in these videos, like the educational ones, I feel like I yap a little bit, but it's out of love, you know what I mean? Like I just want you guys to take as much as you can from my videos and like actually be able to understand what I'm saying and put it to good use and become better, right? It's all out of love. So without further ado, that's gonna be all for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy this one. My socials are down in the description if you want to follow me and check me out on anything. My Twitch, my TikTok, whatever, Twitter. And then hit the like, subscribe button if you did learn something and you know what I mean, you want more videos like this. If you guys have any, obviously I have ideas, but if you guys have any like specific educational things that you want to see me talk about, because obviously I don't know exactly what everyone's thinking, you know what I mean? I don't know exactly if there's like one thing that like maybe one of you guys really wants to know, but there's not many, you know, videos or, you know, anything like that, you know what I mean? Any skill, any mechanic, anything about the game that you want to learn, let me know in the comments below. I will probably check that out and then probably make a video on it. But without further ado, that's gonna be all for today's video. I love you guys. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.